Can we go back to when people were people? It feels like people have forgotten to be human. And, you know, in a time right now where there's constant negative things being thrown at us, and, people don't treat each other the way they used to. Or just like a few years back, people rate each other, people try to put others down constantly. People don't really know how to communicate anymore. We feel like we have to be online in order to make connections now and so much more. And it feels just robotic and different. I remember when I was a kid and it was like Halloween. I remember it was probably like 2010 or 2011 because I was 5 and my sister was like 3. I remember, sister probably doesn't, but we went trick or treating at the mall and then we went to a neighborhood and it was like full of kids. And now I see, people don't really do that anymore. They don't do it as much as they used to. It's like dead in some neighborhoods. But luckily for the neighborhood I went to for this past Halloween, there's a lot of people there. It was packed with people and it was so fun, and it made me just reminisce on when I was little, and trick or treating and stuff like that. So much fun. And it was nice to see other kids having fun as well. Because I feel like we're living in a time where people make you feel like you have to grow up so fast, because we live in a very fast paced world and it just feels very odd right now, you know? One of the most inhumane things, obviously, or just, how do I put this? One thing I would never do, guys, that I will never understand is rate someone. I could never rate a person like just them as a person. Like I could never do that. I don't know if you can. I sure can't. It just seems effed up, and it's really. What I'm trying to say is it's crazy how normalized it is. It's so normalized to just rate someone, like just be like rate this person. I could never do that. I remember a family member actually came up to me and they showed a video of this person and they were like rate this person. And obviously the video that he showed me was like a video trying to of someone making fun of this person for how they looked. And I literally looked at this guy and I was like, "Ah, I cannot rate this person." And that is so messed up. And he was like, "Really?" I was like, "No, I cannot do that." I don't know how people can do that. Like, especially since we're living in a time where there is a huge, like, people are feeling way more insecure about themselves, probably more than ever, and feeling more lonely than ever. And the amount of hate that people are throwing at each other, people hate each other, especially men and women. It feels like we hate each other, you know? And I love people. People is what gets me going, and I just want to connect with people. I'm so tired of it. I just want to connect with people. And maybe I'm unrealistic for thinking like that in such a world that obviously when you look at it, it's not really a world that's made for good people. It really isn't. I mean, look at everything. People are fighting to survive. And some of the most horrible people are the ones that are at the top, and the good people are left in the dust. It just, I just wish I could give so many people a hug. Seriously, and just be that person to let them talk and just listen to what they have to say. Seriously. Because the really interestingly, terrifyingly time that we're living in. But even in this time, we all have to continue to persevere or have hope, because we can't just give up like that. And I do, even in the midst of all this crazy stuff, I've been tuning it out more. I have been tuning it out. I'm very careful of what I consume, because I have no social media besides YouTube. And the thing is with that is, even without all these other social medias, I feel like I still see so much negative news. And I mean, even when I go to search something, it's like one of the first things to pop up under the search bar is so much negative news. And it's so, like, why? Well, obviously, because that's how they control you, and negative things is what sells. And when I'm on YouTube now, I have to be careful. Seriously, I'm thinking about disabling my YouTube on my phone. Well, not necessarily my phone, I mean my tablet, because I don't really get on my phone, but disabling it from my tablet and my iPad, because that's what I'm on the most. And just, if I really want to watch YouTube, I'm gonna have to get on my desktop and search it up, because and know exactly what I'm gonna search up, so I can avoid all this negative stuff. It's a lot. It's just a lot. Because not long ago, before I started my channel, my head was like, it felt like it was going to explode because of just so much going on. And I felt very lost at first. This world needs the biggest band-aid there is. Seriously, like, this world needs the biggest band-aid it needs. Like, there is, like, because this world needs healing. A lot of healing. Because there's so much going on. I seriously miss 2016. And because it was like a very prime year for me as a kid too. Like, there was so much going on then, but so much fun. And as a kid, it was just time. It was like I don't want to get too deep into it, but people were still like, there were a lot more people acting like people then. And now we're in 2024 and things feel off. And I'm tired of it. I seriously am tired of it. So, I'm doing whatever I can to tune it out or stay away from it, because it's just gonna, the negativity is just gonna maintain itself and loop and loop and loop into my life. And I can't let it do that. There are things I want to do, and negativity is one thing that hinders people. And it's one of the easiest things to fall into. in life. One of the most easiest things to fall into. It's really important to protect your energy and who you are. But I miss when people were people. I really do, and I hope that sooner or later, or, you know, we can go back to being that way. You know? There's still people out there that are people, and I appreciate you. I really do, and even the people that aren't acting like people, I still appreciate you, and I hope you're able to heal. Very interesting time. You know, we're living in a time where you gotta be careful, super careful. I mean, you can't just look at someone either. I I remember it's like the I remember I watched like a video, and it's like a video from like the 90s, and it's so cool to look at those types of videos, because I wasn't alive. I didn't exist. And it's so cool to look at those videos and just see like life then. And I remember, I watched the video, and it was so interesting because no one had their heads in their phones, and people were looking at each other, communicating and talking and interacting, and people would stare at each other. Like, I remember this one kid, he was staring at this lady for so long, and they were just staring back at each other. I can't imagine doing that now. It's a lot more dangerous, actually. It can cost you your life. Just looking at a person. You gotta be careful, because then they might want to attack you. I still have hope for this world, you know? And there are good people. If you go travel the world to different countries, you'll always be reminded how there are good people, and the lies that the media will tell you to think, to get you to think a certain way and control you. You gotta think for yourself, you know? I think that's all I want to say. Just my thoughts on the whole thing.